in my incredible envy over Trajan's end of year video. Here's an end of year video for 2023. Pretty big for me. Had a great time. Bit of a roller coaster ride. So, seeing as everything is now viewed through the hellscape of Twitter becoming X, let's do a year in tweets with Temporal, which is the alter ego I use for League of Legends. Right. Happy New Year in 2023. Mixed ride last year. Definitely health has been on the up and up and a big concern for me. It definitely is recording. Awesome. And yeah, getting better over time. I think 2023 was the first big full send year for me since 2020 itself. So big change. Being able to come back under full steam was really good. And these people all made my 2022 a great time. But how did 2023 go? I opened these up a few days ago, so I am sort of reading these as as they are coming up as well, because I sort of thought these were the most important things that happened this year. Freaks for You teaming up with a regional partner. How little did we know that January 3rd last year, almost 1 year ago, that this was going to happen, and that regional partners and NLC lower divisions would maybe be expanded outside of Freaks for You, which was quite exciting, quite fine. Esports Winter this represents. So this is a great YouTube video, and this person, very, very cool. Ravi is sort of the newest person to, or at the time was. I haven't really kept up with it since I'm not that deep into StarCraft anymore. I tend to just watch VODs on YouTube. This person penetrated StarCraft as a full-time caster and made a pretty big name for himself. And I think if I scroll up, yeah, we had the idea that casting as a full-time career is starting to diminish, and just broadcast talent not being able to find full-time in this space. It's a bit frustrating, seeing as there are so many people who find esports broadcasts like a big part of the personality there, has very high value. That value is very much being contrasted by esports and entertainment winter. Writers' strike in America definitely this year had an effect on this as well. Or is it maybe a symptom of other effects of people not spending as much money? And this is a very hard thing to do. And at this time, I wasn't sure how long I'd be doing casting. I never really quit on things. Sometimes I Irish exit for a little while. Maybe I come back, maybe I don't. But at this time, I was just like reassuring myself that things are hard, and just because they are hard, it's not worth becoming frustrated over progress and how progression works in entertainment spaces. The new format, oh gosh, MSI in London was great. Went to that as well. The first week of January was a banger for announcements last year. Gonna have to keep my eyes open this year. The new MSI format, I feel this landed really, really well. I had a great time watching it. I think the tournament was improved for it. This is primarily going to be league focused. There we go. He says, I cast Yu-Gi-Oh! For the first time this year. I had a great time. Both Yulwei and Canifit came on, and we did some VODs. And not long after, I wonder if it's the next one. It is not. It is not. I did end up doing some Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, which went very well. Katie fans, please. No excitement. even at this time, it was worth saying. In Korea, the KT train really took off. We'll talk about that more with Worlds being like down here at the end of the year. IRL casting. I'd done a little bit at like British esports finals and such in Nottingham. I think they're doing it out in Sunderland now. I haven't been back for a little while. And this was great. I really enjoyed like an NLC style broadcast, or NLC level broadcast for League of Legends in a real studio. Watching the first one, which was Middlecott. Middlecott and Ginny was there. Who else did it? I watched it work, and it was just like super Robot Wars vibes. It was great fun, and it's a product I think someone like the BBC could run with. it was a real shame that this didn't carry on for a long sort of period of time. The double-edged sword that I think no one has exploited and will continue to exploit without significant resources to throw away, like the taxpayer, um, is that League is relatively unknown in the UK, which makes it hard to just be like, hey, welcome to the NLC. Hey, welcome to this. You know what League of Legends is, right? We're going to give you the same product everyone else wants around the world. And no one cares because they're all sat at home playing FIFA, or they're not using their digital time on esports, which is fine. That's the way it is. That means you get to show everyone else how cool the rest of the world is, and sort of maybe merge it into the way we view stuff like Robot Wars, entertainment products that are competition based in the UK, you know. And so it's a real untapped thing, and I think that especially the first week of this with the handy cams wandering around, it was excellent to watch, and I really enjoyed joining this pair and having a go myself. So it was a studio broadcast in London. Oh gosh, getting F5 for MSI tickets. I got tickets to all three of these. I was so excited to go. And then both semis. I was at a stag do until the morning of the finals, and I got a 5 a.m. train out of Nottingham. Next year, there will be more planning about events and about things. It was not a good time, though. I'm hoping this improves for next year. It could have been worse, but it was definitely the worst I've had as a consumer. There you go. I did some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff this year with Fafa, which is really cool because I only sort of know them parasocially a bit, and then have spoke to them a few times before at events. And it was great to do this for Belong. I think their esports division isn't carrying on in the same shape. I have no like insider thing, but I'm sure I read a thing somewhere that this isn't going forwards. It was really good to sort of do some Yu-Gi-Oh work, branch out a little bit. Don't do that very often. I'm very good at compartmentalizing my life, and esports definitely sits like League of Legends and like some things I used to enjoy. So it's good to merge cards, which is separate, in there. Yeah, I think I don't remember. This isn't week of J-Real. That comes later. I did like 4 or 5 things with J-Real in 1 week. He's had a real globe this year. He's had a great time. EMEA Masters did both this year for the play-ins, and it was a really good time. This was sort of me coming off a bit of a break. I do have a spreadsheet somewhere. I haven't looked at it recently with like every cast I do and like feelings and impressions, because you remember that at the time, and it's important to sort of have that for review. And later on, you like might forget a frustration that you could work on or actually do something about. Yeah, this was great. It was great that even though I had a really, really quiet spring for Yu-Gi-Oh, the EMEA Masters E-Universe had me back. T1 started having a great year around MSI, and I was just like, the double elimination really showed it off, and I had a great time watching this tournament. I think MSI was really special this year. Don't know where it's going to be next year. It's probably been announced, and I've ignored it because it's not nearby, and it's a real shame. But World's coming to the UK, all the same. Very exciting. Got to spend a day with Middlecott. Had Munchables climb over us with his drinks in this beautiful stadium. This was absolutely fantastic. Sort of to go and be in an arena. Middlecott yelled his lungs off, which was very funny. And of course, the stag do was still wearing off, so I was still not in my best form. So I didn't try and match him. And I sort of wheezed in the corner, like, lungs, what are lungs? Middlecott, if we go to Worlds together next year, I'm going to show you what 700 liters per minute can do. All right. Never tell me the odds. And this was sort of what, like, we're halfway through the year now. We're over halfway through. Because it sort of jumps, and sort of, I haven't been, I think, in this sort of field, especially in entertainment, it's pedal to the metal all the time, because that consistency gives you power, and gives you sticking, and either brain space or algorithm space online, which is really important. Or it's do it when you enjoy it. For me, it's definitely the second. This is fun. While skills are great and important, it's still about the enjoyment primarily for me. And the UK Esports League re-entering League of Legends, and licensing and disagreements and some creative decisions being reversed from the license holder. Uh, this was so exciting. Wouldn't come back for summer. Would come back for autumn. So in August, I revisited one of the first like streams I did that I really had fun with. We made a UKEL tier list. My face is currently blocking off some of that. Like this guy knows how to computer. And if I like drag myself up, let's see how close we got. See how close we got. I think this is for play-ins. So I don't really remember how it lines up. Tempest doing very well. True, Arcadia did well in play-ins. Scienties Nuts and Paragon. Scienties Nuts went on to be Venom Crest in the UKL. Rod and Friends. Oh man, very, very, very exciting. You enjoy a good tier list stream. They will return next year, I think. Maybe, even if just to rustle some jimmies. It was a great time to sort of have this return to the UK scene, being able to sit down and do these things. And there's always a meme that tier lists are just like, oh, it's going to upset everyone, have fun with it. It's really good to actually dig in, scout people, and get that information out. And that's it's quite valuable to me. Right. And of course, this become a bit of a running joke with myself, perpetuated by me as well. That like I'm just not going to be on the NLC. The NLC channel is just like it's got a little asterisk on it. It says like Temporal will mod and do nothing else. And I was invited on for the NLC Division 2 finals. Big thank you to Jika. I think Jika and Brackish who recommended me, and Carvis who sorted that out. And we did it. We had a great finals broadcast, and I really happy that the second division of the NLC got that treatment. It was nice. It was slow. It was analytical, and it was a really great time that actually saw Lundqvist fight back against a Venom Crest that hadn't lost a single game yet. And it was a really good final. Still up on the channel, but you know, all things move forwards. This was a lot of fun. It's going to happen again, I believe. Of course, wait for official announcements because I am not the mouthpiece and I am not the creative brain behind the UKL. I'll come from the official X Twitter channel. During the plans, which anyone can broadcast, it's open field as long as you behave. We had an 8-person cast and 9 guests. We had Don Jakin as well in draft over like multiple countries in Europe. I had a great time with this, and I think it's been a skill I've been like very happy to improve. And sometimes you'll see it. I think the only thing that's like relevant to it all is like late night talk show hosts when they have an entire movie cast on. They start ping ponging people and directing it, like shaping where the conversation goes very carefully. It's something I really enjoy when it comes to game broadcast, and something that I don't think is done at the highest level enough. These people are all very skilled, and I think the more you trust any talent in front of a camera with the crazy ideas, even if it isn't perfect every time, like this was so much fun. And then I had a cheese toasty afterwards. Look at that. Look at that cheese drip on that. Good times. And I think Zero gave me a good recommendation. There's no onions in it, but I might try that in the future. Red onions with cheese, man. Red onions with everything. As we're still going through August, clearly a great time as I think that's the end of the summer split. Dates aren't my strong point still. We saw EG like completely implode, and this is like another esports winter thing. You know, economic downturn is going to happen in the rest of the world, and like the most like substance isn't the right word, effervescent, the most like fields that rely on people with high salaries and very specific skills that don't like claw reliable revenue out of people, like people who manage food infrastructure will always have a job because food must always go around. Esports probably could explode tomorrow, and it would be like the worst, but it wouldn't really damage anything. Lifestyle wise, people would find new passions, find new things. Again, that's all hypothetical. The sort of evisceration of a brand that I've been a fan of for 20 years. Hydra, even like a bit before that. 20 years is such a long time. EG was like a huge titan of North American esports, and to see it being so mismanaged and then like exited was a sign that certain actors in the esports space had their fun, and the damn trend was really going to start to kick off from there. And in 2024, I hope we don't suffer it too badly. Now this is very exciting. Who's that? I think rather last minute there was a need for another caster of Insomnia. So in my hometown of Birmingham, I managed to respond to a tweet and get called up to do the League of Legends Grand Finals at I-71. I had a great time. I'd love to go back and do it again. Had a fun weekend. Again, people I hung out with was very great. It was great to see League people in person. If there's anything our scene does worse than literally every other scene I can think of, it's actually leaving the house. That isn't fighting game people leave the house. There was a huge Team Fortress thing with a huge crowd. There was a crowd for Valorant. I think League of Legends people, we got to get out of the house. We got to enjoy ourselves a bit more. And going to Insomnia, being able to walk around the LAN hall, talk to people who are on that tier list earlier, new talent in the UK space for League of Legends, was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. I was sort of was staying at home, so I didn't need to get put up in a hotel. And every night my mom would pick me up, and she hadn't seen me for a little while. There was always so much to sort of tell her about, and the way in that having something there to go to and wake up every morning and go straight back was so much fun. And yeah, maybe we can try and organize a big group to go down into the tournament. That'd be really nice. I think from the entrenched esports people I'd not met before, who were there just to like wander around, drink a lot, which is part of any, I suppose, in-person event, and just hang out. They were all like, "Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll do the LAN hall next time." That was really fun and exciting. Had a great time. There's Stan. I was on with Stan. On with Greyheart. There's the band. There's to do this stage would be so much fun. It was really nice. And Broad and Friends, thank you for stickers. My mom's a huge Doctor Who fan. I got the calendar up in the kitchen. I had a great time. Really enjoyed it. And of course, the return, the big, like, revengeance isn't the right word. Big resurgence of UK League of Legends, coming around a broadcast together, coming around a tournament. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I think there were lots of people in chat, and I think I didn't get the broadcast statistics here, but the UKL had its best split ever, which is huge, not only because there's been a gap, but because the league was present over the time when everyone could log on to Twitch TV because we were all stuck at home during pandemic lockdowns. Was its previous records in 2021. So to come back in 2023, do it again, do it better. Sort of dug my heels in even more, got more involved. It was a huge passion project from everyone involved, and I think everyone smashed it out of the park. Had a great time, and the tournament was a huge success. Okay, we did more open community stuff. Zoe, Casual Cutie, huge shout for producing the open calls for UKL and open calls. It's not open calls, the Aurora Cup group stage. There you go. This is the correct terminology for the correct tournament. Yeah, absolutely. Have done so much this year. And it's you're gonna do this professionally. Of that I have no doubt. Well, actually, let's push that back. Talking about esports winter, I know Zoe's having a great time, and I hope more big things professionally. She's still looking for a coach somehow. Like, probably the best UK coach. Like the ERL level and below is still unsigned. If your team needs that, you can fix it, I'm sure, with the DM. And I think Kaya finally got shot onto Venom Crest. So I think both of them are not struggling anymore. We're gonna talk more about that in a second, so we're just gonna hide that. But yeah, esports winter has been horrible not only on the big level but also on the personal level. There are many skilled members of staff for many reasons not on teams. I'm never gonna advocate for someone to like lose their position, but like many fraudsters are still out there. If you struggle a weekend, your value is your value. Right. I am the big science when I am not thinking about esports or entertainment products. Current Secretary of Science has no background or understanding of science. And this sort of, I wanted to talk about the esports winter thing as well. Ideology is like a tool. It's been used to great effect currently in the world of politics across the world, and especially in the United Kingdom, where people like Michelle Donnellan, who have no idea what reality looks like because they went to a school, looked after, never had a real job, and then get to preside and make decisions and don't listen to the words of others set around them who are well-meaning, but who come with donations and, oh yes, this is best for everyone, but actually really it benefits me. And this works in esports as well. I think for me, nasty little lies and people who are not good faith actors are a complete waste of time and have been present in the scene for a long time. And a sort of a decent side effect of esports winter is they're no longer extracting monetary value from the scene, so they don't stick around because they don't think it's for them. Don't head into esports or like YouTube or any entertainment product starting with like this is a job, this is what it's going to be. You have to transfer that passion to something else. This has been a great year for reviving that with the UK Sports League, with the NLC being more inclusive, more expansive. Even though things are like non-accredited and the money's not there, or the money's been funneled somewhere else, away from like what it actually generates value. And it should come around with time. The only risk is that it'll be destroyed before that comes around. And in that case, you have to be confident that you're going to be part of the zombie that stands back up again and carries on, dead or alive. This particular post, I believe, is like a thinly veiled shot at transgender people, which is not okay. That field of science is very contentious, difficult, and requires good faith actors. Beware people who are not good faith actors and who have their own interests at heart. I did MCM Comic Con. I worked it. This time back at the Yu-Gi-Oh booth, doing the booth instead of the tournaments. The tournament no longer accompanies the convention. We would need 2 halls. Again, this is outside. I am not someone who makes decisions when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, or at least macro decisions. I might decide, hey, I want another table for this tournament, but nothing big. It was lovely. So I was actually in the position behind the camera all weekend, taking pictures of people in our card stands and running the booth, giving demos, sorting people out. When it came to the Yu-Gi-Oh booth, I had a fantastic time. Again, different entertainment products sort of branched out a little bit this year. Yeah, reading this back, like this seems like I'm trying to flex on professional people, which is not a good thing to do and not my intention. But like this gets me excited when I read people like Desert You. I don't really know. I think it's Derry very well. But like woke, try casting best of ones with someone from a competing team. Like doing crazy things on broadcast is so much fun, and Zoe being able to manage that was really cool this year. Do exciting things, do different things. Right, we're on to the week of J Real, even though I know his face is not on here. That's because I did like 6 casts in a week, number of finals, a number of other things. And Jay was on 4 of them. So thank you, Jay, for putting up with me all November. did Sigma Cup, which is the I always get this wrong. It's the Greek Legends League plus another region. I think is it Hit Point? I knew at the time. This is the tragic thing. The more you cram in your brain, the more it spills out the other side. I had a fantastic time with the talent on the screen. Thank you, Noah. Your English is, as ever, a lot better than you think. It was a great time. I think I did the desk as well. I think Kenren shredded his voice because this was the same day as what I think, is it Worlds is going on here? November 12th. I think this was the day of the World Semis. I think this is World Semis because Worlds is later this year. Normally finals is on Halloween. It was slightly delayed because of Asian games. So I think Kenren came off of semis, his voice absolutely kaput, which is fair after casting an international world championship end of bracket match. You know, this is the maximum hype. So I think I did the desk as well. I did one man on desk. Again, great to keep working with the universe. Great time. Did I open this? In any case, talking of good faith actors and education, something else I'm quite educated in, having been stuck in the system a long time. Not anymore, but definitely, I think, especially as my relatives get older, I think about sort of my journey through it and how best to advise them in a way that's not like, yeah, this is what worked for me, but what actually gets you where you're going out of, and how best to use education as a tool. For everyone who's like, oh, there's no point going to university, or like everyone goes to uni now, so the value isn't there. It's like getting the value out of it is the crux. At this stage, like my advice is always going to be like, if you don't know what to do, like trades are good, like electricians, gas fitters. Again, I mentioned earlier, food infrastructure will like never die. There'll always be more to do, and it's very valuable because food is the most valuable thing as soon as you've got a roof over your head. When it comes to entertainment products and esports and the cutting edge of things, project management, there's always been the like de facto, you can go to a lot of places from this and you'll deal with it more efficiently than many other people. It still is the way I think for esports, to get in and then have the analytical sort of process set up for you. That came to me through biochemistry or molecular biology. And I was always of a mind of doing more than one thing. And I know that's not for everyone. And even science isn't the most reliable career choice. So a lot of things to think about. And esports degrees, you got to make sure you're going to get the value out of it. The mentor is who you want it to be at the time, so that when that 3 years is finished, you're going to come out of it into a job flying. We skipped over a lot of UK Alex. I didn't want every tweet to be around it. And I did the finals. I even made a little meme. Steph, who took the pictures, is just behind me. Had a great time doing this. And we put on a banger. I think it's fair to say, over finals. Very special. Both of these teams did really, really well. And then I think Ready Corp went to the playoffs of the regional promotional series as well, which is quite good. And sort of a real shine on how the season had gone. It's a shame Tempest didn't quite keep it together. But hey, next split. Very excited to see what they can do. Yeah, the Color Caster Grand Finals. Last time I did a thing close to finals, my health really got in the way, which is a real shame. And I'm still kicking myself for it years later. Into the UK one and smash it. God, it felt good. Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. And I think as a measure of that being fantastic, this last tweet is a real happiness. The death of the LPL English. I'd be lying if I said it wouldn't be an absolute dream to be on like LPL English. I applied for LCK English a long time ago. I think it's the one that eGym got. Maybe a little bit later. Don't remember. There was an open call for it on Twitter at the time. I think that was 2021 spring. And it didn't work out. And it sort of got a feedback thing. It's like, hey, you've not been on enough big products. And I think if I do break through the NLC, like I'd be lying if I wouldn't be trying again to be on something like that, because they're sort of seen, especially in the West, as like the biggest things you can do that aren't moving to Germany and getting on the LEC. You can't access worlds without a big regional showing, and even people with big regional showings don't always land worlds. And to see it sort of drop away from the LPL itself, so I think that's the way it worked again, completely outside of no idea. The LPL shareholders like decide the entirety of the product, which includes an English broadcast. Maybe they weren't attached to it anymore. Who knows? It's very sad to sort of see big pillars start to crumble at the end of the year, because from the outside looking in, the LPL English is like a huge amount of talented people and a huge fan base in the West. Once you add up all the co-streams, the people watching, it's a big deal, because this is on par with the LEC or LCS. And it's a more dedicated fan base. It might be slightly smaller. Again, I'm not going to pick up a chart and double check, but it's on par with. And there is only so much stuff that can slide before the whole sort of LoL esports operation might be in trouble. And you never want to see that. I would never want to see that, because it's something I love very dearly. And the last tweet, because doom and gloom is not forever, did the NLC RPS. I appeared as a caster on the NLC channel. Curse broken. These people were wonderful. Sorry, Peter and Duckling, for cutting your faces off. Yeah, I had a great time. Absolutely fantastic. Turns out Dog Slaughter, this is Dog Slaughter Nash, and we had a probably ever so slightly related hundreds of years ago cast. It was absolutely fantastic getting to work with these people. I had a really good time. Yeah, I would love to do it again. A bit of a shame I was away for the last stage of the tournament, so I didn't put in much availability there. But that's because I was away in Italy doing more Yu-Gi-Oh! And the trouble with doing all these different things at once is that occasionally they clash. And I'm trying to get less upset about it these days, because it's a bit of a spoiled situation when you could do multiple things at once and you have more opportunities than you have hours in the day. That's something I used to get mad at. It's not a good thing to get mad at. It's a great opportunity for all, and you got to choose what you want and stick with. Again, something I didn't used to be as good at. It was fantastic to sort of have the regional rivalry back. Able to make team memes, dig at people in a gentle, fun way. Make it a bit silly and a bit fun. I had a great time, which is really special after sort of the homogenization of the NLC scene. So that's England, Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden, and Iceland. And of course, Malta as well. Never going to forget Malta, alongside the UK and Ireland. And, this has been doom and gloom for years. Some really poor decision making in the past and creative direction. I think implementing the ladder system that works so well in Germany would be great 10 years ago. I think you'd blow ESL out of the water. I think it would be fantastic. But it speaks to maybe not quite being with the times and the issues of our scene, where we have some really talented people. We don't have as many as we'd like, and we don't have the infrastructure to retain people that we'd like. And a ladder is the poor ladder where I think the bottom half of it was constantly reset. Is not a good way to keep people retained, keep them engaged, give them value for their time. And instead, tournaments like this, tournaments like Telly League, and that give you finite starts, ends, values, prizes, and showcases, have been the way in our scene. And to see another one of these in the RPS that again used to be a Telly League qualifier between UKLC, the Swedish, Danish, was it DSD? It's not SSD because I always got that wrong. Swedish League, the Nordic League, a Norwegian League, into the first iteration of the NLC was a lot of fun, even though it was rushed. To see that same tournament now played out over a longer period of time really put a great cap on the year for me. It gave me more confidence in where the product is going. Uh, and really just League of Legends in general. I think with the next season being a big one, I'm going to look to veteran talent once again from our regional leagues to sort of show up in the first few weeks and make things exciting and crazy. And it's put a huge smile on my face for the new year. So for me, in review, did more league than ever. Did more card games than ever. Still doing very well professionally outside of esports and entertainment. And I was really supported by people around me. If you worked with me this year, even if I haven't shown your name on a tweet, because Twitter's not everything, it's just an easy way to click through the last 12 months, then thank you. I appreciate it. And here's to another fantastic year of fun things. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. I think 2024 is going to be a lot of fun. All right. It's late on New Year's Day, probably late to the whole New Year's boom. So go get some rest. The second day of the year starts tomorrow. Happy New Year's.